Welcome to the Barrels and Bylaws podcast intermission episode. So for those of you who are new around here, typically we talk to some entrepreneurs, learn about their origin story, learn about some of their oh shit moments, but here we want to keep it lighthearted. I think we're all due for a break, and now's the perfect time. And what better way to jump into more of a dad episode? Right now, I think we have 10 kids amongst us now.
Yeah, we do.
Number 11 on the way. We'll keep it a surprise on who's expecting.
I'm pregnant.
It's me. We're expecting number 3 on the way come December of 2025. So very exciting. So look, being an entrepreneur, being a parent is very difficult, is very challenging. So let's just take a moment, celebrate that, lean into that, and talk about kind of the ups and downs of being a parent and an entrepreneur. So with that, why don't we set the stage? Let's talk about the kids. How many, ages, we're all in different spots of our life. So we'll start with Chaz down there, and then we'll work our way around.
Yeah, so 5 kids total. Tyler, he is going to be a junior in college. Abigail will be a sophomore in college. Madison going to be in 11th grade. Olivia in 8th grade. And Charlotte is going into 5th grade. So 1 boy and 4 girls.
Very nice.
Oof. Well, I have 3, not 5. And I thought you were going to say a moment of silence for a minute when you started. I'm like, that could work too. My son Gabe, he'll be 24 in September, which is crazy. He actually works here at the firm. He's our finance and operations manager. Then my 2 daughters, Ellie, she will be 16 this August. She will be a junior, and Melina, who is the one that just almost burnt down the house, cooking ramen in the microwave without water, is 12. And she's going to 7th grade. So I got that frantic call while we were recording another podcast before this. My phone was ringing off the hook because she almost burnt the house down for the 2nd time. So
almost doesn't count.
Parenting.
Remember, does not count.
Doesn't count.
I have 2 right now. 1 is cooking. So oldest is Olivia, 3 years old. We have Will, who will be turning 2 in September, and then 1 on the way, expecting in December. We'll find out game day. Let's start there. Did you guys find out game day, the gender, or did you find out beforehand?
Only once did we wait till the final hour. It was with Charlotte, the last one. So we had Tyler, and he was such a great child. We were like, let's have another boy.
That's easy to do. Let's just get
Let's have another boy.
Yes, we're going to do that.
Abby, Madison, Olivia. Whenever we went to the sonogram appointment while Olivia was in Jessica's belly, we had 3 kids going with us, and we did the 3D sonogram.
Okay.
Everybody was like, boy, boy, boy. You wouldn't believe how down the crowd was. No. And then it was a surprise for Charlotte. But at this point, Tyler loves being the only boy, and he's amazing. And then I have 4 awesome girls, and I love being a girl dad.
Yeah,
that's great. I grew up with. I have 3 older brothers. I got the shit kicked out of me growing up. That's the whole world I knew. My parents, similar. They really wanted a girl throughout everything. It's like, let's get a girl. Try another one. So I was a profound disappointment when I came around because I was the last one. They said, okay, we're done. 4 boys is enough. Can't do it anymore. So when our oldest was a girl, in the delivery room, I was brought to tears. I was like, what am I going to do? Like a girl, what is it? Phenomenal. I love it. So for the 3rd one, I couldn't tell you what I have no preference. Health, obvious. That's what we care about. But I don't know. I think we're both probably we could handle another girl. A boy, I don't think my wife could handle. it's already
Don't
chaos
speak too
with
soon, man. Don't speak too soon. You think you know what you're doing now. You're still in. You have no clue, dude. You
The
have
jump
no,
from 2 to 3 is
yeah,
brutal.
Yeah, dude. You have no. Boys are terrible when they're younger. They're just. But when the girls, when they get to the teenage years, it's a whole different world, man. Whole different world. Like, I'm just telling you now. So, whatever you have is great. I'm happy for you, man. But don't wish away a boy. I'm telling you that right now. Because it can be exhausting. I did not. I mean, I found out what all of mine were, so I had to know. I had to be prepared. I didn't want to wait till the last minute to paint or buy things. I had to know. So it was definitely. I could not wait. I couldn't do that. No.
Well, let's loop in some. I mean, we said it was going to be more entrepreneurial as well. When I know we're in different parts of our lives now. I mean, to your point, a 3-year-old is the oldest in our household. So the definition of the productive hour is wildly different for me. And I just had to lean into that. We made jokes. I mean, poor Rocco, I joined in 2020, and then I immediately started having kids. So he went from, look at this guy. I mean, he joined, and then he said, yeah, I'll get my license in Florida. We'll continue to do this. We'll continue to do that. And then 2022, yeah, I'm having a kid. 2023, I'm having another kid. 2024, I said, all right, we're going to have a break. And then here's 25, we're going to have another kid. So God bless.
Same thing. So
no, I don't know if the timing will work for 2026. We'll have to be acting fast, but no, I don't think that's going to happen. But the productive hour for me shifted. That was the hardest shift for me, working here, trying to grow a business while also trying to raise a family. And it got to the point for us, and I'm curious if you guys did the same thing, we had to do shifts. So my wife is a dentist. She can't, we had to figure out nights. And nights for me were, don't let me sleep, just let me stay up. And so we decided, I have the first shift because we needed solid stretches of sleep. Our kids were terrible sleepers. So she said, I'm going to go to bed. I'll see you at 1 or 2 in the morning. And my productive hour, I mean, Emma here, God bless again, I would be sending emails to her at like 12:30 or 1 in the morning. Like, hey, did we think about this? Did we do this? And that's just because that's when I was productive. Child was sleeping beside me or crying, but that's when I could find time to know I'm on call, so I might as well be doing something. And then we shifted 2 o'clock. I would go to bed. She would get up or be on call for the child. She would then go to work. How did you guys find time? I mean, you started your business at age 34. You had 2 kids already, and 2 at least, right?
All 5.
Oh, no, that's right. All 5 already in 2.
Yeah.
So how in the world did you juggle that?
I can probably thank my kids and my wife and our big family for my willingness to have a big company at this point. The chaos at work is not anything compared to home. No, I'm just kidding. Amazing support structure with my wife. She was a teacher, special ed teacher. Up until we had our second child. And from there, fortunately, I did well enough at that phase of my life to allow her to stay home with the kids. She had a couple stints as a real estate agent in there, but primarily since 2006, she's been, she's had the harder job of the 2 of us in raising the kids. I have an office at home. I have an office at my office. Traveling salesperson has an office behind their steering wheel. So as I'm working from home, it's like very, very much having the support from Jessica to help teach the kids and any visitors that show up at our house that if Dad's in his office and the door's closed, don't even knock, right? If it was open, you would hear what's going on. But if it's closed, don't even just don't bother because he's working. So like during the day, that's been very helpful for those of us that do get a chance to work from home from time to time. But from a like productive and a like a work perspective, Matt, like the 5:30 to 7:30 hours to like really just get your day started and right, and whether that's primarily work focused or self focused, right? I don't think life is as easy if you don't take care of yourself. Not that it gets easy, but at least getting the blood flowing with that minimum, a bike or a treadmill, and having a routine with that and having a healthy breakfast. I think that's optimal. And you have to do that before the kids get up. You have to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That cuts deep. That cuts deep. I am now, I'll admit it. We're going to be open here. I've hit the 1 year anniversary of not doing anything. That cuts deep. That cuts deep because June 15th of last year is when I did the half Ironman, hurt my knee, kept adding kids. And it's a snowball effect. When you let it go, I feel the most probably unhealthy personally right now, just because life happens. Kids are running around. Where do you find time? You have to be very active and intentional to get that.
That's it. It's a choice. I believe it's, 'cause I mean, we all go through that, right? We all go through those seasons, and it's true. I've been the same way. Like, you kind of let things slide, and it's just now you recognize and you just make the choice to shift. I mean, it's not, I mean, you don't beat up on yourself. You just say, okay, like, I spent this year not doing it. Now I'm going to do it. And it's truly just making a choice. I mean, that's to your point. Like it is, if you don't start your day for yourself, like I had my son when I was in law school. So I was a single dad in law school. So I took him to class with me. So it's hard for me to say what my productive, I just had to learn to adjust. Like my parents lived an hour away. I didn't have anybody to really help me. I had my son who now works here. I would take him to school with me, and he would be in class with me or study with me. So it was like I just had to learn how to adapt. So, and I've always been the type of person. Like, I always got up early. I always had these. I built my life around routine. So that's kind of how I've always adjusted. When I had my daughters, it was the same thing. It's just and we were lucky enough where I think if the parents have routine, the kids just fall into a routine. Like, our daughters just always slept well because it was just a routine. It was like, I'm a very disciplined person, and I said, okay, this is the structure of my life. By 4 or 5 months, they were both sleeping through the night. So it was like, it was easy to adjust, but I think that's just because we had a very disciplined routine. So I live my life on routine, even to this day. Almost maniacal about it, but it's still hard as a parent. Like, you have to find what's optimal, what your optimal time is, right? Like, I know when I'm optimal, and I know there's days where, like, I have to pull back and take a break, and you've got to accept it. I think the hardest thing as a parent is, my experience as a dad and just talking to other business owners that are dads, it's when you're not making the decision one way or another, like, that's when you struggle the most. Like, you're trying to have a foot in both, saying, I got to be here, but I'm here. I got to be here, but I'm here. It's like, you have to be okay with saying, I'm going to miss stuff, or I'm going to be involved in work for a week and there's just going to be things I miss, or I'm going to be away from work because I'm spending it with my kids. You've got to be okay in this, where you place your feet, because too many people get so caught up as like, they're here, but they think they should be here. They're here, but they think they should be here. Just choose to be here. Give yourself the permission to be there and just let go. And I think that's when you get to that point, everything gets easy. Because I had to do that. Like, I was in corporate America, then I left to, just quit and start a firm. And I had to figure out, like, there's gonna be times I might not see my kids for 3 days because I have meetings every night. I had to be okay with that. And you struggle with it at first, but then once you give yourself the permission, because it's not a selfish thing. It's truly not. It's about doing it for the greater purpose. Like, I'm doing it for my kids. So that once I kind of got to that point as a dad and started realizing that, it made things a lot easier for me.
What do you think about that?
That whole concept of being where you are. Mm-hmm. There's, it's an interview. It's a topic of conversation in interview, work-life balance, right? And it's so easy to be at the ball game.
Yeah.
oh, I'm just checking a quick email.
Right.
Or I'm in the car with my family and I'm just checking a quick email. That whole concept of being able to just shut out what it is that you're doing. And sometimes it's work that has to get shut out.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it's, I am going to miss a practice, a party, a thing that otherwise I should be at. But I'm at 95% of the things.
Right.
But the 5% of things that I just can't, you just can't. And so it's not about always being at like the work-life balance, always being at everything. It's about being at most of them and being the most engaged person on the field,
exactly right.
you know, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you might have to be in New York City for a thing.
Yeah, I think, and having older kids now, you know, it's, you look back and say, they don't even remember the things you miss. They remember when you're there fully. Like, they don't even talk about, like Gabe doesn't even care about games I've missed or practice, same thing with the girls, but it's like, they always knew when I was there, and because I'm there intentionally, and it's purely for them. And it's, I think, you know, as dads, we tend to beat ourselves up because we feel like if we're missing something, we're, you know, but I have older kids and I've had those discussions. They don't even remember those moments. They do remember the times when you are intentional with them. And I think that's what matters most, especially as business owners. Like, you have to, because if you're trying to build a business, it's not a 9 to 5. It's a 24/7, 365. There's no letting go. Like, there's never been a day in my professional career where I've been able to say, I don't have to think about anything. Like, it's always there. It's, you know, it's always there, but it's just being intentional about the time I'm with my kids, that I'm there. Like, I took my daughters to New York a couple weekends ago, and it was just the three of us, like me and we had a great time. Like, I didn't really do much. I checked my email while they were sleeping, or like before they got up in the morning, because they don't get up till 10 o'clock. So I'd have like 3 or 4 hours in the morning to do stuff. But it's, when I was with them, I wasn't even answering my phone, and they'll remember that because it was the intentionality of the trip. So I think it's a hard thing for dads to do, but once you get there, it changes everything. It really does.
Let's get even deeper.
Okay.
There's my social media algorithm is completely upside down right now. It is brutal. It is like family raising kids, like superhero dads that are talking all this stuff. We got dads jumping off Disney cruise liners, jumping after their daughter that fell in. I don't know if you guys saw that headline. Yeah. Insane. But yeah, my social media algorithm is all messed up. But something came up about the idea of, are you in the prime of your life? And the concept was not so much being the healthiest. We already established that I'm not the healthiest right now. But it's not, prime is not the healthiest. Prime is not, in this concept or this discussion, not the most money rolling in. It's the idea of when you are 85 years old, looking back on your life and saying, man, I wish I could relive that day. Am I currently in the prime of my life? Because I look right now, awesome, trying to build a company up day in and day out, going home and seeing these kids, that you are the superhero. Coming home, they're screaming, they're yelling your name. They're like, this is phenomenal. Like, you're my best friend. Like, let's go, throw me up in the air 20 feet. Am I in the prime of my life? You guys are in different stages right now. Kids are a little bit older. So please refute this if this is true. But I go into restaurants, I go into convenience stores, I go wherever I go, you can see people look at me, look at the family and say, oh, like, your daughter's so cute. Like, oh, your son, like, I remember when my kids were that young. Like, there is you can see the reflection in the moment that they look back in their life. Am I in the prime of my life?
I'll take a stab.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say 100% yes. But every next thing that happens is better.
Yes.
Okay?
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's the seasons of life.
Yeah.
Exactly right. You're in the prime for where you are.
The first steps, cool, amazing. Oh my God, first words, amazing, right? Pop a tooth, go to kindergarten. Get on a bus, get a report card with good grades. Spend the night at a house. Join a team. Make a basket, score a touchdown. Graduate. Get it. Move to college. Put on a suit and tie for the first time. I want to pause on that one for 1 second. I've had amazing kids and all kind of cool things, and literally you're in the prime, and every one of them gets better.
Yeah.
And then you think it can't get better than this. They conference champion. They won the conference on a buzzer beater, and it was her. He scored the touchdown under the lights. He got accepted at Penn State. She starts on the freshman on the basketball team. And then I wake up one morning and tie is tie, and send him off to an internship, professional internship. And I'm like, that was the best. That was it. It got better.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what's next.
My son I get to work with my son every day. And that same moment, we went and we got our headshots redone. He still comes in and asks me to tie his tie for him. And that's the moment. Yes, you're in the prime of your life for the season you're in, but every season gets better. I thought when my daughters were little, picking them up and playing with them was great, but it's now Ellie will call me and ask me questions about life, life advice. And to me, that's the coolest thing ever. I'm not playing dolls with her anymore. I'm she's asking me real life advice and wants my opinion because she knows I solve problems for a living. And it's to me, that's the coolest season I'm in with them. And then, Melina, she just started cross country, and she's telling me about the practice she had and the training they did. I never thought we'd get there. That's awesome. Gabe, I get to work with him literally every day, and we'll battle back and forth about stuff, and he'll challenge me. And that's so you're in the prime for where you are, but it's the seasons of life, and it's truly, they just get better. There's no you're what you said is eloquent and perfect, because it is. First steps, awesome. First words, awesome. First, first day at school, graduating kindergarten, they're all awesome things, but they just, and then to see them turn from this to an adult, and you had an impact in who they become, that's what to me is the most amazing thing, truly. So
I love that. Well, good. All right, so I got some hope. I'm not in the prime of our life, but no, that's phenomenal. Just one note too, about tying ties. Do you need to shout out Micah at all? You can air it out fully now.
So every morning this summer, I'm up. My son gets out of bed, and he's got to drive all the way down to Pittsburgh, and he's putting on a suit and tie, and he's asking me tie the tie. And every morning I am looking forward to it. I can't wait. He doesn't know. Hopefully, whenever he watches this, he'll understand. And then one day, and I'm tying this, up, over, under, back through. I'm not doing a Windsor knot. I still don't know how to do it.
I'll show you.
I need some lessons on that. But anyways, I'm backwards doing it, and I've never tied a tie for another man in my life. So it's my son, and it's been awesome. And he comes home from work one day and says, I had a meeting with the big boss today, finally, who's a friend of mine, a friend of ours, Micah. And he's like, Dad, he pulls me in, and the first thing he says to me is, we're going to have to work on that tie. Get on the internet and figure out the Windsor knot. And I have not been able to tie my son's tie since that moment. So, Micah, you robbed me of an amazing parenting moment with my 20-year-old son. I will never tie 4 girls. I will never tie another son of mine high
Man.
ever again, and I'm so
That cuts
sad
deep.
about it.
That cuts
It
deep,
does.
man. That cuts
The
deep.
Windsor knot is nice, but
Yeah.
Dad doing it for the son.
Yeah, I mean,
You should have told that to my. This isn't Windsor.
I have breakfast with him on next Wednesday. I'll be sharing this with him.
wear a tie, not as a Windsor knot though. It's just like, this is
That's
why
a
ties
great-
it down right.
That's a great idea.
Yes, do that, man. You're welcome.
What about because I know this has changed for me as well. The idea when I look back, it seems like every 5 years I look back at myself and I cringe, and it's kind of one of those things where if you don't do that, you're not growing. Like you need to be able to look back and say the growth that I've had. One thing that I've noticed now is just the definition of success and the why. And that shifted more of, I came out of school and I think what most people think, which is money, status, those are the keys. Now, my why, looking at my family, my kids, there's a whole legacy aspect of my why. How has your definitions changed as now your kids are growing up? I'm still very much in that young. They're in, I would call sponges, but they're still new to this.
Yeah.
Now as kids growing up, kind of how has your mindset shifted in your definition of success and legacy?
It's been interesting for me because I come from Newcastle, right? So it's kind of the same type of area. Like there's nothing there. It's pretty, very modest upbringing, low middle class. The definition of success was getting out, having a nice car, having a nice house and a job. And it's like, you do that. I hit that. Like in my late 20s, early 30s, it's like, that's not success. So to me, it was like, I had to redefine it for myself because when you grow up in the way I did and the way you did, it's like, that's what you're taught, right? That's just what success. It's like the person that has a nice car and a nice house and has a good job, like they're successful. And it's like, okay, well, that's not success. It's like, what impact am I leaving? So to me, like when I left corporate America to start this, it was truly about, I wanted to leave an impact on the world, be it either changing the way people looked at lawyers, changing the way we practice law, or change the industry in some way, shape, or form. But end all be all, it's truly, and I'll get deep on this because this is something that I really have thought through over, like I didn't, like my real dad, my biological father passed away when I was in law school. So I didn't have a relationship with him since I hadn't seen him since I was maybe 9 or 10. So I never had an attachment to my last name. It was his last name, it wasn't mine. But then it's like, as I've gotten older, it's like, it's almost like I reclaimed my name. Like that's the legacy. So it's like, that's my name now. It's not his, it's mine. And what is that name going to mean for generations moving forward? So I think, to me, it's truly about leaving that impact on the world, whatever that is. And hopefully my kids will see that and say, okay, if I can do this, they can do whatever they want.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one.
That's
It took a lot of deep soul searching to figure that out. 'Cause I couldn't figure out what it was, and I just had this epiphany one day. It's like reclaiming your name, and it was definitely it hit hard, but that's what drives me so much. Like truly, if I have to say what drives me the most, it's that. It's now my kids have my name, and that's our name now. And what is that name going to mean for generations to come?
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
I don't think we've run into a situation where we've been just at a loss of words, but that was phenomenal. And I'm going to have to kick it over to Chaz. I mean, I feel like you were thinking so many thoughts there as Rocco was explaining that. What is it with you as you start your own business?
So we talked on our last podcast, earlier about celebrating wins.
Yeah.
And lack thereof, right? As the leaders of the business and the leaders of the house, and like our just expectations.
Yeah.
And I had at some point this school year, my daughter, who's 13, she says to me, Dad, I thought you sold medical equipment to doctors, but you're on the computer, like doing Zooms all the time.
Yeah.
What do you actually do? And I was like, wow, that's interesting. And she's 13, right? She's not 3.
Yeah.
And she asked that question, and it was like, man, I should probably. We got a lot of cool things to celebrate at Match One Medical, and for me personally, that are professionally related. And it's like, I found myself like never bringing that to the dinner table. Yeah. Like, hey, Daddy won an award for a thing. Yeah. Like, and I could talk about some of those things. And it's like, I didn't like, yeah. Hopefully they follow the Match One Medical web, the Instagram page to learn, and I see them with hearts. So it's like, okay, if they're hearting the message, well, then it's like, no, they heart everything, right? That's what kids do. And so it really hit me. And so this was Olivia, and it was, it was cold out. So it was like wintertime. And so since then I've really tried to be more intentional about, not just what I do, but how it's going. Yeah. And some bragging to your kids about like a neat thing that I did that day. Meeting somebody, seeing something, doing something, being invited into something like this, right? And so 3 of my 4 daughters helped me pick out my wardrobe for our meeting today, right?
Great job.
My jacket's over there, and we picked the pants and the shirt and all the deal. And it was like, I'm asked to be on a podcast, and they're like, oh my God, can we watch?
That's awesome.
Well, not today. Not today. So we got a bonus episode. We'll be talking about them.
Yes.
But anyways, I think this message is to entrepreneurs. Communicate the wins with the kids. Yeah. If you're like us, and it's hard to pat yourself on the back or put the trophies on your shelf, try harder at that, and be intentional about communicating how you're doing it with the kids versus just like, oh, this is my job, this is what I do. But find things at whatever phase they are in life, because at 20 is different than 10. Yeah. And so finding something neat throughout the day to share with your kids, so that you are sharing part of your life. You're not just like gone for 8 hours a day. Like, oh, Dad's gone for 8 hours a day, and we've got a nice house and nice cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this: knowing the entrepreneur life, the sleepless nights, the stressful nights, is that a path that you would recommend for your children?
1,000%. Yeah. Yeah. Without question, because I believe it shapes you into the person you're supposed to be. That's how I look at entrepreneurship. Like if you're willing to take the risk, because I think God makes us all a certain way, right? And I think there is some people, rise to that. Some people don't. I think entrepreneurship is one of the best ways to just chip away all the bullshit and just get you down to the raw root of who you are, and to find out what you can take and what you can stomach. And I want my kids to be resilient in life, and I will help them. I said I'll always be their backstop, but I'm not gonna hold their hand and drag them along, but I'm not gonna let them fall. But I would all 3 of my kids, if they came to me and said, like, if Gabe didn't go to college, he said I want to start a business, I would have said, done, I'll help you. Same thing with my daughters. If they decide someday they don't want to go to college and they say, hey, I want to start a business, done, let's do it. I would absolutely do that.
Man, that's my biggest challenge, especially with college. I think college has its own challenges and issues that they need to overcome, but I thought I would have maybe shifted this thought, but I feel like I've continued to lean further and further into it. I would rather push my kids to develop a business plan and pitch it to me as an investor, rather than, I'm going to go to college. Why? It's kind of the next step. And then and that's it. And like, okay, but why? Like, what's the intentionality behind it? And I don't know if that's a fair stance to take, because that's not my path. I mean, I went to Penn State. I have my own stories there, but is that a fair stance to take with our kids now?
So I mentioned I live where I grew up, and so like my kids are living some version of the same sort of life that I lived. Half a mile down the street where I was in elementary school, and 10 miles from high school, like same town. Hey, why don't you go to Mercyhurst? I can help you. I can talk to the coach. So like when Tyler bucked the, Mercyhurst, even the idea of it, let alone like, was it realistic? That was like the first time that like I even thought about like the kids doing something different than my path. And I still find myself in my path was job first, entrepreneur second, all the while like being smart with my finances, doing real estate, over the top, in the evenings and weekends, and then side hustle turned into a real job. And so I find myself like, you got to get a degree and you got to have that real, like, and I'm using the word, that real job first. And I feel like maybe because it's all you know is what you know, like, and all I am here because of my journey. And it's like, I really I want them to have that let's get a degree. Let's get a job for some period of time, get some training from some people that are outside of your sphere of influence as in your family or your locale, and then figure out like how to build a business. I don't know if that's like college, job, college, corporate America, entrepreneur, right? Like it just worked out for both of us.
Yeah, it did. It absolutely did. 100%.
Is it, like what if there's a thing at 18?
Yeah.
Like what if Madison's like, I don't want to go to college. I'm going to take over this business. Like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. I feel like she's on the path that I did and I've laid out and her siblings are doing, but what happens when somebody wants to buck the trend?
I say just let them. And cause sometimes you have to let kids learn themselves and just be the guardrails. That's how I look at it. Like I said, if I told Gabe when he was thinking about college, and I said, go to college if you're going to be a lawyer, an accountant, a doctor, an engineer, something you need a college degree for the profession. I said, if you just want to go get a business degree or a communications degree, start a business. Let me help you. I'll start a business with you. I'd rather you get more experience in life doing that than spending $50,000 a year going to college. That's the problem with college too. It's the cost benefit analysis. So I think, and with my daughters, whatever happens, but I would never tell them no. If they truly have a desire and it's a well thought out desire, not just something they saw on TikTok, they want to be an influencer. It's like, well, we're going to think through that. But if it's like, hey, legitimate business, they thought through, like you said, they have a plan. Yeah, take a year and try it. If it doesn't, you can always go back to college. That's the way I look at it. Like, why not?
What piece of advice would you give, or wish that you received going into parenthood? And I can start. Now, I'm going to be very, very, very pointed because we're expecting. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna dive right into what you should be expecting when expecting. One piece of advice, because I know you guys are in different parts of your life, so I wanted to focus more on those who I'm about to have a child, so what in the world am I going to do? In the delivery room, number one, you better treat the staff like gold. And I told all of my friends, anyone who came and visited, you better bring 2 dozen of whatever it is, snacks, or gift cards or whatever for the staff. I want them to feel like gold, because guess what? They're going to make us think that we're top tier. So you bet I'll reimburse you, but when you come to the hospital, go to Oakmont Bakery, get some punchki if you're Polish like me, bring it out, bring it to the staff. That's one. Two, you better know that this the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Figure out what hill to die on, because not everything is incredibly important in the hospital, but you need to understand your significant other can't advocate for themselves all the time. So you got to pick your battles. What is a non-negotiable, and make sure that gets addressed. That's two. Number three, you got to know your spouse or your significant other, because when it's go time, when it's game time, and like I said, this is all fresh in my mind. Like, I'm ready to go in December. My wife is very tame, and her up and down. No, she's very level-headed, not like me. And we had a nurse that would come in when it was go time to start pushing. She would say, "Okay, breathe and push 1, 2, 3." That did not work with my wife, because it was like two very level-headed, very calm personalities hitting each other. We never had progress. Then the nurse swapped out, a new nurse came in, and it was like she was a CrossFit. I still remember it years later, CrossFit instructor. She had me pushing. I was like, "Yeah, let's go." And she's like, "What?" And we had, and this is important because we were in labor. I say we. My wife was in labor for 22 hours at this point, and it's like a significant cutoff where you're from a natural birth to a C-section. That's you're coming up to that time point. So this CrossFit instructor, who was a nurse, came in, and she was just firing in all cylinders, and she had me fired up. So being present, knowing your significant other, where you could just like pull in, like, yes, you can't leave this room. Like this, she needs this because I'm pushing and I'm not even on the table.
Did you take Le Mans classes?
No.
Oh, no.
Okay. I've been married for 20 years and we have 5 kids, and we've done a lot of cool things in our lives. If you called her right now and was like, "Jess, what was the best date night that you and Chaz ever had?" It's the same answer that I have. Le Mans classes.
No kidding.
It's like all these years later, maybe it's because the significance of having, like, we're having the first kid, like, it's burnt in there, but we had so much fun. And it was so instructional and educational. We were just watching a television show last night, The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
I'm 3 episodes in. I don't know if I'm into it. But they're having the baby, and they're, like, doing the breathing and everything. And, like, I started mimicking the woo-hee, the stuff that we learned now 21 years ago in that class. So take the class. It's a fun date night. And then as a dad-to-be, you like have a little bit of an edge on understanding what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So I lucked into it, and we clowned our way through Le Mans classes and had a fun time. And best date night ever. And it helped set us up for knowing what to expect in the delivery room.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and I'm not going to give a delivery story because I'm not as excited as pushing out babies as you two seem to be. I think this is the most excited I've seen you in 3 years talking about delivery rooms. So I think you might have missed your calling. You should have been a doctor, I feel like, delivering babies. Definitely.
Listen, all I'm saying is
I'm
like queasy already. So when if I have to draw blood, if I have to get a shot, I'll pass out. And everyone in the family was worried, like, this guy is going to pass out. It was the complete opposite. And for anyone who is queasy, you better man up, because it is phenomenal. And like, I was there, and everyone thought I was going to pass out. If the doctor would have let me, I'm going to say catch the baby. That's not the correct term. But if the doctor would have let me do that, I would have been like, yeah, let's go. Like, put some gloves on. Let's do this. the significant other just went through 9 months of trying to like create this thing, you better not be passing out in the biggest moment of their life and your life. So anyways, yeah, that's why I was so excited. But anyways, let's get out of the delivery room and let's go elsewhere.
I'll leave it with this. Kids are resilient, and they're not as fragile as you think. Let them fall, let them get hurt, let them eat dirt. They're going to be fine. And if you shelter your kids from the world, they turn out to be, unfortunately, shitty adults. And that's let your kids experience the world. Let them get hurt. Let them fall. Let them break things. Let them eat dirt. Let them beat on each other, because it builds resilience. And I think the world needs more resilient adults, and it starts with how we parent kids.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Well, yeah, we can start it how we end it.
Yeah.
Fight Club. You don't number one rule. You don't talk about
You
Fight
don't
Club.
talk about Fight Club.
Exactly.
Well, thanks, guys.
This
This
good.
is great.
This is a good one, definitely. It's fun.
Tune in again. Barrels and Bylaws podcast. This is intermission episode. I hope you had fun. Subscribe, join, comment, like, all the good stuff.
Yep.
Tune in next time.